Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It's a new superhero deep dive. Welcome to a new episode, everyone. As always, I am your host, Jason. It is great to see you, or talk to you, or whatever else you want to imagine in your head. I don't know, but I'm still your host. I have a great show scheduled for today. Let me get the disclaimers out of the way, and we will get into it. As always, the information is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. Also, if you guys want to reach out to me, you can catch me every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the day on Outworld Fleet Radio. Their website is www.un-conventional.com/radio. You can email me directly at b4itall, so b4itall@yahoo.com. And you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram under superherodeepdive, where I use the hashtag superherodeepdive. And you can catch me on YouTube under superherodeepdive, where I do post videos on a daily basis. I post superhero memes daily. I post funny animal things throughout the week. And I post the podcast every week as well. Help me grow. I actually got about 1,400 subscribers now, so I've hit the 1,000 mark. I've got to figure out some kind of giveaway soon. But I have done that, and I thank you all for that. Help me continue growing. I guess the next step to growing the community is getting the watch hours in. So I don't know what all that is. Just turn on videos, put it on mute in the background if you want. I don't know. But help me get them. It'll be great. All right. Let's get down to business. So this week I am going to be talking about Magma from Marvel Comics. She's a mutant. She was in New Mutants, X-Force. Well, I don't really know if she was in X-Force. She was in a lot of things. Insane character, but I have issues. So let's talk about her. Her real name is Amara Juliana Olivians Aquila, or Allison Cressmere. We'll just go with Allison Cressmere, I guess. She hails from the fictional country of Nova Roma, which is New Rome, a colony of the Roman Republic reportedly founded shortly after the death of Julius Caesar in 44 BC. The colony is hidden in the Amazon rainforest of modern Brazil and was ruled until recently by the immortal witch Selene. Amara is the daughter of Lucius Antonius Aquila. He was presumably a member of the historical gens Antonia, which claimed descent from Anton, son of Hercules. Growing up in Nova Roma, she had curly blonde hair and wore a traditional white Roman toga. So she grew up in this area that was, they just cosplayed, it's like a Renaissance fair only in Roman times. Just take it for that. Okay, caught up in a deadly power struggle between Selene and her father, she disguises herself as an indigenous Brazilian and is captured by the New Mutants, who soon discovers her true ethnicity. Her powers manifest after she is abducted by Selene, who throws her into a lava pool. Amara is defeated by Selene, but later rescued by the New Mutants and adopts the name Magma as her heroic identity. Now, is it just me, or every time I hear her, I think of Dr. Evil going, Magma? So I might just pronounce it like that during the whole podcast. At her father's urging, Magma leaves Nova Roma in the company of the New Mutants to be taught by Charles Xavier. After the New Mutants visit Nova Roma, Magma officially enters Xavier's school and joins the New Mutants. She invades the Hellfire Club's New York headquarters to battle Selene. She is fooled into joining a gladiatorial competition run by the insane Shadow King. She partners with Sunspot, and eventually the efforts of her other friends free her and Sunspot from the cult-like control of the games. Mistaking the New Mutants for the X-Men, the Enchantress kidnaps them during their Greek vacation and takes them to Asgard. The teleportation spell created by her teammate Magic goes awry when blocked by the Enchantress's own power. Thrown through time and space, Magma ends up in the Elven realm. They trick her into eating and drinking, thus making her one of their own, body and mind. She participates in a raid on the Asgardian dwarves, where she is defeated by Cannonball. The dwarves, grateful to Cannonball, restore Magma's mind, but they cannot restore her body. This becomes moot when the team is sent back home with all magical alterations reversed. Well, okay. Sometime later, she encounters Hercules, discovering he is one of the gods she worshipped. After a time, Magma recognizes her grandmother, many times removed, in a statue depicting the ancient lunar deity Selene. The witch Selene approaches her to claim having been both the model for the statue and the ancestor in question. Magma and the New Mutants clash with Emma Frost and the superpowered teens, the Hellions, on multiple occasions. Despite the cruelties displayed by the Hellion empath, Magma develops an attraction towards him. She recognizes this and is distressed by her feelings. Soon after, she leaves the New Mutants and joins the Hellions. She trains with the Hellions and returns to South America with Empath. She later reveals to the New Mutants that her father arranged her engagement to a South American prince. She is captured by the High Evolutionaries agents Dr. Stack and Purge, but is rescued by the New Mutants. It's later revealed that Nova Roma is not Roman, but was created by Selene using mind control on British citizens to recreate Rome, and that Magma's real name is Allison Cressmere. While still under the influence of the Allison persona, she briefly resurfaces as a member of the New Hellions. Later, she is one of the mutants who appears crucified on the X-Men's lawn. While she is saved by a transfusion of Archangel's blood, when she goes to sleep, she lapses into a deep coma. She is forcibly revived by Elixir, a traumatic event which prompts her to destroy the infirmary and flee in rage. Further telepathic contact with Magma is rebuffed. When she eventually arrives in Los Angeles, as Amara once more, she meets up with Cannonball, who had joined a splinter team of X-Men. She aids the team for the time, and when the Allison Cressmere identity is brought up by Cannonball, she reveals that Elixir's healing had removed the Allison personality. She now realizes that this was in fact a deception. Amara returns to the school for a while, and when her friend Wolfbane had to leave, she takes over her advisory role, becoming the leader of the Paragons. Now Magma is part of the Extreme Sanctions Executive, although she is never seen as taking part of any missions on panel. Alright, I'm going to stop for a second here. Number one, I'm going to stop doing the Magma thing. It's funny, but if you were playing it like a drinking game, you'd be drunk right now. And I still have plenty of history left. Why is she so insanely powerful and barely... Like, her whole history is her just being a side character. How are you a side character in your own history? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let's keep going. Due to the events of House of M and the decimation of mutants, Magma loses her boyfriend while the two are exploring the inside of a volcano at the exact moment that the depowering wave of the Scarlet Witch runs across Earth. His death temporarily drives her insane, causing her to make the volcano erupt and attack a nearby town. She is later apprehended by Empath and brought to the Xavier Institute, where she shares a tent with Skids and Outlaw. She then falls victim, of course because she's a victim, to being manipulated by the mutant Johnny D, who is infatuated with her. Because of previous experience with being emotionally controlled, she incorrectly blames Empath, who denies her accusations. Along with former New Mutants, Daniel Moonstar, Cannonball, and Sunspot, Magma appeared to be a member of the newest incarnation of the Brotherhood of Mutants, as claimed by Cyclops. She is one of the first members targeted by the new team of X-Men, composed primarily of former Xavier Institute students, and during the battle, Amara turns dust into glass by superheating her sand form, shatters Rockslide, who later reforms, and is eventually taken out by Wolf Cub. She is held in a holding cell in the custody of Cyclops, and it's eventually revealed that Cyclops is in reality Donald Pierce, the former White King of the Hellfire Club, who is posing as the X-Men leader using an image inducer. Pierce's reasons for recruiting these X-Men is currently unknown, but it was revealed that Pierce utilizes the ruse that Magma and her allies formed a new brotherhood in order to convince the former students to attack their former teachers and allies. She later helps capture them and then relocates to San Francisco. After receiving an anonymous tip in Colorado about a young mutant endangering a small town, Danny and Shan are sent to investigate and calm the locals. During their mission, Magik reappears back at the X-Men base in San Francisco after teleporting off into the future after the events of X Infernus, and upon her return, Magik informs Sam and Roberto that Shan and Danny are in trouble, a situation that will result in their deaths. Amara is visiting with Empath in his cell when she is called away by Sam. Amara questions as to whether Illyana is the real one, and Sam assembles a team of X-Men consisting of himself, Sunspot, Magma, and Magik to go find Danny and Shan. While en route, Illyana asks Magma why she visits Empath in his cell since he tried to kill her friends, and asks if she still loves him. Magma stumbles to answer, and Magik accuses her of having feelings for Empath. And Magik then tells Magma that she will help cure Empath if Magma wishes, and will keep the whole thing a secret from the others. She's looking out for her friend. Good job. While searching for Shan and Danny in Colorado, the girls split up, and Sam and Roberto come across a tied up and unconscious Shan in the back of a bar, while Magik and Magma are tricked into freeing Legion from a box. The personalities in Legion's mind want to kill Danny because she can help Legion get them under control, and Legion locates Danny in a jail cell and is about to kill her when Sam stops him. Legion is forced outside, where he distracts Sam and Sunspot while again trying to kill Danny, only to be stopped by Magma and Magik. After Legion takes out Sunspot, Magma attacks Legion, who manages to counter her attacks by making her feel extremely cold, taking her out of the fight. Magma is mentioned by Pixie as one of the first mutants being teleported to Utopia, the X-Men's new island home. She is later seen alongside Matt during the final fight against Norman Osborn's forces, throwing fire at Venom, as well as lighting a small area on fire around Colossus during his fight with Venom. Which is pretty smart because Venom doesn't like fire. Magma is targeted by Selene, who wants her dead. Selene sends Magma's former teammate Cypher to kill her. After breaking into her room, she surprises Amara, viciously beating her unconscious and dragging her body to the kitchen for Amara's teammates to see before he engages them in battle. During the fight, the deceased Hellions show up to reclaim Doug, while the New Mutants teleport away. The New Mutants split up, with Danny and Sunspot taking Amara to Utopia's medical lab. On the way, they are attacked by Feral, who quickly is taken out by Sunspot and Danny, and upon arriving at the lab, Dr. Nemesis injects Amara with a serum that activates her powers and heals most of her wounds. While she is still recovering from her wounds, Doug arrives to apologize. At first, Amara tells him to leave, but he convinces Amara to hear him out by communicating with her in a special language he designed for her. Does she know that it's a special language designed for her, or is this just something he did? I don't know. She then thanks him and welcomes him back. I'm not a fan of this character so far. Alright. When Cable and Hope Summers arrive back from the future, Bastion and his purifiers attempt to kill them. The New Mutants are sent to gather intel on weapons being produced by Cameron Hodge in St. Louis. After arriving back on Utopia, Amara hears a series of explosions, and she, Namor, and X-23 find that Donald Pierce has destroyed the X-Men's hangar. Amara then goes to a team of X-Men to help out in San Francisco when the city is surrounded by a giant impenetrable dome. Upon discovering a giant sphere in the Golden Gate Bridge, the X-Men investigate when several Nimrod Sentinels emerge. After defeating the first fleet of Nimrods, Amara stands guard with several other X-Men awaiting more. Okay, there's only a little bit more. After the events of the Second Coming storyline, the New Mutants take a vacation, which is interrupted when Magik discovers that Pixie has been kidnapped by a mysterious military faction known as Project Purgatory. After traveling Limbo for days searching for her, the New Mutants are attacked by the mutant babies gathered during Inferno, now adults working with Project Purgatory. During the fight, Amara is the last to be captured after Trista used force to knock her out, and Amara is then held captive along with Sunspot. Eventually, Illyana is placed in her cell, and after being asked by Roberto how Amara dies, Illyana tells him she does not love him like he loves her, and to listen carefully. After Magik, Pixie and Karma escape back to Utopia. Amara remains a captive of Project Purgatory along with the remaining New Mutants in Limbo. She is eventually freed by Danny, and upon exiting the compound, sees that Project Purgatory have summoned the Elder Gods and torn a hole right through the earth. Amara sees the past version of Magic who helped reform the New Mutants and tries to warn her about what's to come, but is stopped by Roberto. He reveals that if she goes by herself to warn Ileana, she will die. And working together, Sunspot holds off a horde while Amara goes to Ileana. 3 days later, Amara is seen tending to Roberto in the infirmary, so she has not died. But what do you guys think of her history so far? Are you in agreement with me that she just seems to be the victim in everything? Like, everything she's done, it's not often that I do a character's history where they're not the main character in their history hardly at all. Like, it seems like the only story that she was actually the main character in was when they were talking about the Nova Roma incident, you know, where Selene had people trapped there thinking it was New Rome. I don't know. I don't get it. Let me go over her powers. But in the meantime, let me know what you think. Now, I purposefully left some stuff out because I really didn't see anything more than her being a victim or a side character in her own history. But let me know. Like I said, you can email me at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com. You can catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive, where you can comment, like, subscribe, share if you have requests for future episodes. I am all ears. If you have fun facts, anything I may have missed, let me know. Because I have a list of people to cover, and I'm just going to keep going with it. In fact, I'm going to add Cypher to the list because the New Mutants all seem to be pretty interesting. But yeah, Cypher is being added to the list somewhere down the road. Okay, but let me get to her powers. Okay, Magma. Magma is a mutant with geothermal powers. These grant her control over tectonic plates, even to the extent of causing seismic upheaval. Amara's powers allow her to be so in tune with the Earth, she is able to sense seismic activity and prevent earthquakes before they even happen. She can also call forth molten rock from the Earth's core, producing projectiles composed of lava or miniature volcanoes. When using her powers, Magma typically assumes an energized form that emits intense light and heat. While in this form, Amara can increase the temperature around her to the point where anything around her will melt, like metal weapons, and they'll melt before inflicting her with any damage. On another occasion, she has demonstrated this ability without assuming her energized form by heating up the room at a Hellfire Club party, causing everyone in the room to sweat to the point of dehydration and blacking out. She can also create orbs of a fire-like substance and use them as projectiles or a source of light. Although Magma has triggered small earth tremors without taking on an energized form, she has never been seen to use her power to control lava while in her ordinary human appearance. On M-Day, she traveled within the heated gases of an active volcano and demonstrates an immunity to volcanic gases, heat, and flame. In addition, Amara possesses certain regenerative powers when in contact with the ground. Even when she was once affected by Selene's life-draining touch, she recovered quickly enough to aid the New Mutants in battle. If she is not in contact with the ground or the physical shock to her system from a single injury is too great, the regenerative power is no longer in effect and she may die. Dr. Nemesis discovered that Magma is also able to recover from laceration wounds in her human form by changing to her energized form, the intense heat cauterizing and sealing any wounds, and then she reverts back. Since the late 2000s, Amara has also displayed the power of flight. However, this power has been inconsistently portrayed, as in some of her recent appearances in X-Men Gold show Magma flying but also being carried around by Rogue and Captain Britain. Due to her Nova Roman heritage, Magma is well versed in Roman culture, including the Latin language, and is also a skilled swordswoman. Fun facts. In 2014, Entertainment Weekly ranked Magma 79th in their Let's Rank Every X-Men Ever list. And Amara Aquila Magma appears in X-Men Evolution. This version is a teenage Afro-Brazilian and member of the X-Men Junior team, the New Mutants, who lives at the Xavier Institute, displays no apparent connection to Nova Roma, a strong relationship with Tabitha Smith, who is Boom Boom. She's awesome. She's in the current storyline, so I can't really cover her right now, and a budding relationship with Sam Guthrie. Amara also appears in the Wolverine and X-Men episode Thieves' Gambit. This version is a teenage white Brazilian. And Alison Cressmere Magma appears in X-Men Legends. This version is American, initially held prisoner by the Genetic Research and Security Organization. The Brotherhood of Mutants attempt to kidnap her, but Wolverine and Cyclops rescue her and take her to the Xavier Institute, where she quickly becomes a student and is later recruited by Professor Xavier to join the X-Men. So, those are her powers. Those are fun facts. They haven't done a lot with her. But look at her. She can create earthquakes. She can stop earthquakes. She can bring forth magma. Like, this is insane. This is insane. It's molten rock. Like, even in her history, she fought sand and turned her into glass. Like, turned her body into glass by melting her down. Like, that's amazing. That's an amazing level of power. But let me know what you think. Like I said, you can email me directly at b4itall, so b4itall@yahoo.com. You can send me a message on Twitter or Instagram under superdeepdive. DMs are always open. I don't care. I like talking to you guys. The best thing to do, though, is comment on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you have future episode requests, let me know. If you have things I may have missed, if your ideas are different from my ideas for the character when I get into them, let me know. That's a great place because we'll have conversations back and forth. Everything gets acknowledged. It's awesome. I have a great time doing it. But let me get into my final thoughts. I always thought Magma was an interesting character, but she was put in this category where she was too powerful to really know what to do with, or she was ultra powerful yet somehow became a victim or something like that. I can't really think of a time where she really took the spotlight and showed what she could do. Because every time she did, it was some kind of victim, or she was a secondary character in her own story. So I had this insane idea that might really put her front and center. But maybe not for the best reasons. So here's my pitch. Magma has always been portrayed as this victim type character, right? Well, let's have her be a victim and break down, have a mental breakdown because of it. So let's have a mutant character that's maybe a bad guy, hasn't fully reformed yet. We can have them in the background for a few months before this storyline actually hits, before we even introduce Magma into this. And they can just be doing stuff, but it never really amounts to much. You just see this sinister look with them, and they're in the background, so they're just hardly noticeable, if at all. But yeah, they're just someone that's supposed to be reformed, but they're not. So we can see maybe them stealing something. It could be anything. It could just be dumb stuff like that. Just to show that they're not really buying into this whole mutination, thing. Anyways, we have Magma in some scenes as a side character, she kind of has always been put. And we'll have that background, or that bad guy, in the background even farther than Magma would be. Nothing too noticeable, but what we're gonna do is lay the groundwork for about maybe a year. Okay, and what this is this person is say when she's off doing a mission or something. Like when they're kind of gathering before they leave, we see this bad guy kind of in the background. He's just eyeing her, you know, something like that. But you know, it doesn't have to be anything too big. It's just, we're putting something there. We're just planting a seed. Okay. Now, after this time, so after about a year or so, so maybe this is like a 1.5 year long process. Like we introduce a bad guy for like 6 months. Then we introduce Magma and have him kind of eyeing her for about a year. Okay? After this time, we have that bad guy take advantage of Magma in the worst way. I'm not going to say which way. I'm going to let your mind just go to where it needs to be. In a non-consensual, very bad way. Okay? If you know, that you know. Alright. But he does this. But his identity isn't really revealed for a while. We can even say that Magma may have been influenced or drugged or whatever. Like, it could have been anything. But anyways, when this happens, we see her freak out, as she should. She has a breakdown when she realizes what exactly has happened to her, and she practically goes Pompeii on Krakoa or Utopia, wherever they are. I know I have their history as Utopia. I thought Krakoa was the island, but you know, whatever it is. No one can really tell what happened definitively, but we know the gist, and we know that it's bad. Like, so bad. She's inconsolable, she's mad, and she is destroying everything around her. So, you know, that's the basic plot. So what do you do with this? Let's say she's generating so much heat around her that people can't get close enough to really communicate with her. And let's say that in her Magma form, psychic influence isn't really working very well. Let's even say that if they do calm her down, so much damage is being done. How do you just recover from something like that? You know, so let's have her be so insanely powerful and show it. Like, what do the X-Men do? They have to bring the culprit to justice, right? But at the same time, for as justified as she may be, Magma has to be stopped for everyone else's sake, right? How do people outside of the situation deal with it when they may be triggered as well by what happened? Like, there's a lot of conflicting questions in the storyline like this, and I think it'd be amazing to see, especially in terms of mental health, long-term storytelling, because this has been building for like a year and a half, and social commentary within the mutant community. Like, but that's just my idea. What would you do with Magma? Could she step up to be a heavy hitter? And how would you put her out there? Because remember, she's insanely powerful. She can control tectonic plates. Like, this is not someone to be taken lightly. So how would you cover this? How would you take care of this? Because I tell you, it's absolutely insane. But let me know in the comments. Like I said, you can always email me directly. I get emails frequently. In fact, I probably have 2 pages worth of shows lined up because of email requests. But you can email me directly at B4, so B4itall@yahoo.com. You can catch me on Twitter or Instagram under superdeepdive. I try to use the hashtag superherodeepdive. And you can catch me on YouTube under superherodeepdive. Please contact me on that. I mean, that's great. You can comment, like, subscribe, share, help me grow the channel even further. I do have a giveaway planned soon. I don't know when. I've just got to get some home stuff straight first. And it's just mainly because I have kids that are in Scouts, and summertime brings Scout summer camps, and summer camps bring expenses that you have to buy stuff for. So, yeah. Everything is just kind of going from there. But guys, I think I'm going to head out for now. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know any future requests. I know that I've missed a couple things on here. If you're familiar with Magma, if you're a fan of Magma, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you would do with her, because she's an insanely powerful character. She's insanely interesting. but it's almost like they don't know what to do with her, and I think I have a good solution to do something with her at least. But in the meantime, I hope everyone is blessed, I hope everyone is happy, I hope everyone is safe, I hope everyone is smart. But if you're not smart, don't get caught. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.